Ecstasy.
This is Al Kabir, the analyst, and today I want to go over, you've seen the highlights and clips just a bit. Wasn't really that important today, but I want to get into these cuts. This is Al Kabir, the analyst. Let's get into it, man. You see the names up there. Now, of course, let me add a few. Carson Strong, Jason Huntley, Jaquaski Tartt, Karen Tom, Renell Wren. And it was two more. It was Richard Rodgers. That's why the highlights and clips was very important. Richard Rodgers was not at practice. Later came out he was released. Then Greg Ward with the injuries, he is released. But let's get into it. I want to talk about let me start with Renell Wren. He was just in one of those situations. We stacked that defensive tackle. It's going to really be hard. You really had to show out. You talking about you just got Jordan Davis, Javon Hargrave, it was Milton Williams, Fletcher Cox. We're stacked. So, to me, he was a camp body. Even when I first saw that we signed him, I'm like, yeah, he just might be a camp body. Karen Tom, offense, O-line, center. You got Jurgens, and you got the Jack Anderson guy. You got, of course, Jason Kelsey. We're stacked at the O-line, so that makes sense. But now let's get into something that don't make sense. Was Carson Strong. Carson Strong was a guy, salute to Lord Bronson. I heard him say this first. I thought we was going to stash him, hold on to him and develop him and see what he can do. But he's one of the first to be released. Paid him, $350, $380K a year, guaranteed. One of the highest paid undrafted free agent rookies. Come on. Jason Huntley. Everybody said they was expecting it. I really didn't expect it. But, after having him for a couple years, He just can never break through. Jason Huntley got the speed, but I don't know. It's like running back. He was not supposed to be a running back. He had hit a bit play here and there. He'd do something special on special teams here and there, but Jason Huntley, a little bit underwhelming, right? So, Jaquiski Tartt, I did not understand this. Because when you look at the safety room, you would think he'd at least be the third. Marcus Epps, Anthony Harris, and him. The rest of those guys, Kayvon Wallace and those guys. I mean, I like Blankenship, but come on. He's one of the first to get cut. That don't make sense. But the team may see something in him. It is what it is. I think he'll be picked up by somebody immediately. I want to talk about Richard Rodgers. I think he's one of those guys we just going to have on speed dial. We're going to have on speed dial, and whenever we need him, he's going to be on the way. Richard Rodgers is that dude, man. But I like the guys that we picked. We went with, so far, Jack Stoll, of course, Dallas Goedert, Noah, that's what I'm going to call him. So I like that. And Grant Castellaro, something like that. We went with those guys. So we will see. Final cuts is tomorrow. But some of these names surprised me. And lastly, Greg Ward, I knew it was coming. Got to cut your ties. You're stacked at wide receiver. It's like it's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is it let us know how stacked we are at wide receiver, whereas though we got to make a tough choice like this. It's kind of like a stab to the heart. Greg Ward been with the Philadelphia Eagles for a couple years now. He made big plays, especially against Washington. Always made big plays against Washington. I never forget the game-winning catch, but it was just time to move on. It was time to move on from the Greg Wards. And during the practice clips, I did see all the wide receivers were there today. Last day of practice before final cuts. So we will see. Tuesday will be an interesting day. But these are the names they cut so far. But the big names were Carson Strong, Jason Huntley, Jaquiski Tartt, Richard Rodgers, and Greg Ward. But Greg Ward was the one that hurt the most. Even though I knew it was coming, still hurt. But, hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the guys that have been cut, man? I see a lot of people have mixed feelings about Greg Ward. Like, how can you cut Greg Ward and keep Jalen Reagor's politics, man? You draft a guy in the first round, can't just let him go like that because the money they get in, you hoping they live up to the potential. It's all politics. That's the only thing I hate about the NFL. Whereas though when you watch high school football and college, it's about play. But when they get to the NFL, it's money, politics could be in it a bit. That was one of those moves to me because Reagor, based on talent, what he been showing on the field, practice he's really good, but what he been showing on the field would been pretty mediocre. But I knew we wasn't letting him go. But this is Al Kabir, the analyst. Ghost.